No one really teaches you how to shave, so today I'm going to be your dermatologist big sister and break down how to shave everywhere. I'm going to give you tips and tricks for each area. I'm Dr. Sam Ellis and I'm a board-certified dermatologist in Northern California, and I'm here to help you understand your skin and find products that work for you. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. First of all, shaving is totally personal. I'm not here to tell you that you need to shave, but if you want to shave as your method of hair removal, there are definitely tips and tricks to be smooth, to have fewer ingrown hairs, to not get itchy, and I am here today to share all of that with you. Let's start off with what you need, because having a successful shave is not just about having a good razor. You need to have all the tools to set yourself up for success. Okay, but you do need a razor, and we want one that is clean with a fresh blade. When you go to shave, you're going to have the option to choose between a single blade razor or a multi-blade razor. The vast majority of razors that you buy in a drugstore are going to be multi-blade, and the reason for that is they give a very close, smooth shave. However, when you have multiple blades passing over the skin, it does increase the risk of irritation and increase the risk of ingrown hairs. So if those are things you suffer from, I would go with a single blade. You can still get a great shave from those. You don't have to get fancy with your razors. Some of the most popular razor companies do make the best razors. So I love the Venus Smooth. It has 3 blades, gives you a great close shave. And then if you want a single blade razor, I recommend the Gillette Skin Guard, and I'll link everything in the description box. In addition to a traditional razor, I also recommend having an electric hair trimmer, because if your hair has grown any longer than about 1/4 inch, I recommend shaving it down with an electric trimmer first and then going in with your razor, because if you try to shave long hair with traditional razor blades, you're going to dull your razor super fast and you're going to clog up the blades. You can get really great affordable electric hair trimmers on Amazon. I'll link my favorite one below. It's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower, which is just super convenient. So you have your razor, you have your electric trimmer, you also need shaving cream or shaving gel. Yeah, you can shave with soap, but I find that it can cause more irritation because you don't get as clean of a glide. Also, I like a shaving cream or gel because you can actually see where your blades have passed over the skin, so you're not reshaving the same areas over and over, which can lead to irritation and ingrown hairs. Those things are the bare minimum, in my opinion. I also recommend that you get some type of exfoliator to prep your skin for shaving. I actually like just like a basic exfoliating mitt. You don't need like an exfoliating body wash. You can use an exfoliating body wash, but a mitt is great for prepping your underarms, your groin area. We'll get to all of that just to make sure there's nothing in the way of having a very clean shave. So those are all the things you need to actually perform your shave, but how you take care of the skin after you shave is equally important, and I recommend you have a really gentle moisturizer and you use aftershave. Aftershave is not just for the guys, it's not just for beards. Using aftershave on other parts of the body will save your skin. When it comes to aftershave, my holy grail is Tend Skin. It's a great aftershave. It has aspirin in it, which is anti-inflammatory, so if you are prone to the bumps and the redness, it really helps stop those in their tracks. The brand Topicals also has an ingrown hair tonic that is amazing, especially for the groin area, because it has alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids and niacinamide for brightening. So if you're someone who struggles with hyperpigmentation in your armpits or in your groin, and that gets worse with shaving, using something like that as your aftershave can be incredible. I'm about to get to the different tips and tricks for shaving each part of the body, but first it's important to understand the steps for shaving, because those are going to be the same no matter where you're shaving. Number 1, you're going to exfoliate. Ideally, we are exfoliating the area we are going to shave the night before, but if you're like me, you generally don't have that much forethought about when you're going to shave, so exfoliating right before is also okay. If you're shaving in the shower, you're gonna get your exfoliating mitt wet, and then you're just gonna buff in really small strokes the areas that you plan to shave. You can do your legs, your arms, your armpits, your groin area, anywhere you're gonna exfoliate, just prep it. And you don't need to do this aggressively. You don't need to push very hard. Little gentle circles is all you need. Now, when we do go to shave, we're gonna shave at the very end of our shower. The reason for that is our skin has softened, the hairs themselves have softened and actually plumped up in the shower, so they're an easier target for your blade, and you're just going to get a much more comfortable shave that way. When you go to shave, you're gonna lather up that area with your cream or with your gel, and as you shave, you're going to rinse your blade every 2 to 3 strokes. When you let hair and gel build up in your blades, it clogs them. You don't get a close shave. You have to repeat going over the same areas over and over again, and that's going to mess up your outcome. Rather than reaching up and rinsing your blades off in the shower, which I think is kind of a pain in the butt, I recommend just having a cup of water that you can just jiggle your razor around in every 2 to 3 strokes. And then when you're done with your shave, done with your shower, you're going to apply aftershave, and then you are going to moisturize. every single time. Also, if you've been struggling with how your shave is turning out, it's really important that you dedicate time to your shave. We are not doing this rushed. We are not dry shaving. We are not just grabbing any old blade. We are really being methodical so that we can get the shave that we've always dreamed of. All right, now it's time to teach you how to shave each part of your body. I'm gonna start out with your extremities, so your legs and your arms. And remember, again, I'm not telling you that you have to shave these things, but if you want to shave them, this is what I would do. Number one, if you do not have a bench or a stool in your shower, please get one. It sounds silly, but you need to be able to see what you're doing. Shaving by feel never really goes very well. So having a stool to elevate your leg and get it closer to your eyeballs is really important. It's also really important to have good lighting when you're shaving. Like my shower at home has horrible lighting, so I actually had to go buy like a little waterproof light that I just put on the shower side and you can pop it on, pop it off. It's really easy, but wow, makes a huge difference in actually being able to see what you're doing. If you have let your leg hair or your arm hair grow out, that's where we're gonna take our electric trimmer first and just take that initial layer off. Once you've done that and we're moving into the razor shave to get a super close shave, the number one tip I have for you is to shave in very short strokes. That's very counterintuitive because at least when I was growing up, the way I learned how to shave was watching a razor commercial where they're taking these long strokes all the way up from their ankle to their knee, but that's actually not the best way to shave. You want to use short strokes and to clean your blade often so that every time the razor is touching your skin and touching your hair, it's fresh. If you are shaving from bottom to top, by the time you get up close to your knee, that razor is completely clogged with shaving cream and with your hair, and you're not getting a close shave anymore. And I want to spend 1 second to talk about the ankles and the knees because who hasn't cut themselves doing that at least a few times? Having the step stool is really important, but also when you get to the knee area, bending your knee so that you're shaving over a firm surface is going to go so much better than trying to stretch out your knee skin with a straight leg. Ankles are the opposite. We don't want to be bending our ankles, so I like to have my foot up on a stool and then kind of my toes pointed forward so that I can get over the tops of my feet and around my ankles without the skin bunching up on itself. The other debate that often comes up is, do you shave against the grain or with the growth of the hair? If you don't suffer from ingrown hairs or irritation, go against the grain. You're going to get a closer shave that way. But if you get the strawberry arms, you get the irritation, go with the grain. You can still get a very close shave that way too. Also, if you guys have any tips for shaving your legs or arms or other parts of your body, let us know in the comments. I want to know what you guys are doing too, because I'm obviously not in the shower with you. Moving on to underarms, one of the best tips I have for you is really going in with that exfoliation mitt. In your underarms, you get a buildup of sweat, deodorant, antiperspirant, and if you're trying to shave over any of that, it's not gonna go well. Once everything is prepped in the underarms, you wanna try to make sure that you're shaving over a smooth surface. So we're not hunched over like this, trying to do the curve of our armpit. We want our arms straight in the air so we can shave down, or you can even grab the skin of your armpit and kind of pull it out to the side to get an even flatter surface. Most armpit hair grows straight out, so the direction you shave doesn't really matter. I tend to recommend shaving down first, and then if you see any hair left over, then shaving left and right. Shaving up in the armpits is the most likely to cause irritation. And then generally, I recommend skipping deodorant or antiperspirant right after you shave. That area can be really sensitive, and that's the most likely time you're going to react unfavorably to your antiperspirant or get irritation. So I just go in with the aftershave first and then let it sit for a little while. Let's talk about shaving the bikini area and the booty area. Of all the areas you can shave on your body, shaving the vulvar area, so the pubic area, as well as around the buttocks and the anus, is probably the most tricky, highest risk for things like cuts, scrapes, infections. So I actually made a separate tutorial with every single tip and trick I have to have the most successful shave there, and I will link it in the description box. Some really important things though, anytime you're doing that, is you're gonna trim down the long hair first with your electric shaver. You're going to exfoliate. You're going to work in really short strokes with your shave gel, washing your blade often. I also really recommend, if you've had trouble getting a close shave or you feel like your razor is a little too big or clunky, Venus does make a specific pubic hair shaving razor that's a little smaller and more refined and just helps you get into the nooks and crannies. This is also a place where having that step stool or a bench in your shower is going to be really helpful. Do not be afraid to get a leg up and get all up in there. Now, after you shave, if you struggle with redness, ingrown hairs, that kind of thing, is not wearing really tight clothing. If you can put on a pair of like loose boxer briefs or sweatpants or something like that, it's going to go a lot better for you. If you do a really close shave of the pubic area and then go put on skin tight undies or really fitted leggings, all of that friction is going to cause irritation to that newly sensitized skin. Also, if you get really itchy, 1% hydrocortisone cream, which you can buy over the counter at any drugstore, applied maybe like once a week. You don't want to overdo it with something like a steroid, but it can really help calm down that post-shave itch. The last thing I want to talk about is shaving your face. For women, we don't tend to have what are called terminal hairs on the face. So those thick, coarse hairs, we tend to have what's called vellus hairs or peach fuzz. And again, you don't have to shave this if you don't want to, but when you do, it can make your makeup go on more smoothly. It can give a smoother appearance to the skin. It's one of those things where if you want your skin to just like instantly look better, shave your face. I actually think one of my most popular YouTube videos ever is my tutorial on how to dermaplane or how to shave your face as a woman. So if you're interested in that, I absolutely recommend you check out the tutorial because it's going to break it down step by step and I'm going to show you exactly what I do. Now, not everyone is a great candidate for dermaplaning their face, or maybe you've tried it in the past and you had little breakouts or you feel like it just didn't work well for you. I do have an alternative that I really like, and that is using the Flawless razor. It's a little electric shaver that helps cut down baby hairs, but you're not doing as close of a shave like with a razor, for example. I recommend this all the time to my patients who have polycystic ovarian syndrome. So there are certain conditions within dermatology where females can develop some male characteristics, including thicker, coarser, beard-like hairs. And so using a gentle shaver rather than having to do like a full face shave every day can be really helpful. Also, if you tend to have breakouts, if you have active acne, dermaplaning is not going to be the right thing for you. So again, having a little tool that's not cutting as close to the skin, that's going to be less irritating is great. Also, I really like this for my pediatric patients. There are a lot of young girls who grow a little bit of excess facial hair just based on their ethnic background. So starting at the age of 8 or 9, they start to get a little embarrassed about the little fuzz that they have going on in the sideburn area. And at that age, I typically am not recommending laser hair removal. We're not having them shave their face, but using like a little gentle electric razor is a nice way to help them cope with that if they're self-conscious without doing anything really invasive. Now, if you're taking all of this shaving advice, you're doing what I say, and you're still ending up with ingrown hairs, little boils, acne breakouts from your shaving, that's the time to get in touch with your dermatologist. There are certain skin conditions that can make you more prone to this type of thing, and it's really important to make sure there's no underlying disorder that's preventing you from having a successful shave or taking care of the body hair that you have in the way that you want to. Hopefully you got some little tips and tricks from this video. I'm curious if there's anything that you learned. Let us know in the comments. Also, remember, if you want a more in-depth tutorial for dermaplaning the face or shaving the groin bikini and around the booty hole, I have a whole separate tutorial on those things, so definitely check them out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.